And in my mind, it just throws off the numbering.
The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast.
It's the specials, so like, how do you number them?
Real Doctor Who fans.
Here you go. It's season 13B.
With real Doctor Who opinions.
No! No! Because that means we have to endure season 13A, and I just can't.
Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Number Podcast, episode number 309 of the podcast. I am Brett, and this is actually recorded in 2023. As you are listening to this in 2024, a head explosion or massively time travel. Congratulations on both of those. Joining me across the pond is my friend in time,
Liam. Hello.
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 So before we get to, the
main event
Christmas special that we did, the previous episode, 308, or, I said legacy number 308, or episode 1, which is your a new podcast that's coming out. Would you like to discuss and give your thoughts on that up-and-coming thing that you're doing?
Yeah, sure. It's basically myself, Legion, and the new member of the podcast who is extremely busy with musical commitments at the minute, but he will be joining us eventually, touch wooded. And it's our foray into watching and reviewing classic Doctor Who, basically, with audio description, now that has been given the audio description treatment. And it's just, three blind blokes sat round various tables discussing Doctor Who and going into geeky detail, or as much geeky detail as we can. We're not Toby Haydock, but fairly close.
Yeah, so it's good for you guys reviewing the classic series. It'll be new eyes on a classic series, which I am all for. And also, at least for 2024, this is going to be kind of that's going to be the show going forward for most of the weeks. And we'll probably do our, Big Finish review. So I'm going to be kind of scaling back just a tad. And you guys are going to be,
taking over.
Under the lights, as it could be said.
Taking over.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So yeah. Oh, and speaking of, obviously the new season, season 1, or the continuation of season 1, because I'm not going to call it anything else, is coming back in May. I suppose you don't know because you've not seen the teaser trailer, but yeah, it's forecast for May, so not too long to wait.
Interesting. I think I want to get into that discussion when we get to that, but I have thoughts, and
I wonder if they're going to do a Mandalorian type thing and drop an episode a week, or if they're going to just, on Disney at least, just drop the whole 8 episodes.
I can't imagine them doing that, dropping all 8 episodes. They're probably going to be... No. I mean, if anything, what they would do is kind of like what Disney has done in previous releases, is drop 2 or 3 episodes at a time and then go 1 week every week after that. But I will tell you, I don't think that's a good business move, because fans over here are going to pirate. So if they're not getting it through Disney Plus, they will just illegally find a link to watch the show, and then Disney Plus won't get the the minutes watched, and the BBC won't get their minutes watched either, because it will be done through a pirate website. So it's one of those situations where it might be kind of Disney practices, but it shouldn't be good Disney practice, because that will just be a hot mess.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. So
before we talk about the 12 Days of Big Finishmas, which So far, we're 3 days in of the time of recording, and so underwhelming.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, actually, because it was kind of disappointing. Granted, I didn't have any of the 7 magazines that I realized were available that I then unlocked for free. I mean, so that was cool, just for a completionist point of view. But out of the 14,
I know.
I mean, we already have. I mean, I already have them, but it's nice to get them in my account. But apart from that, I'm like, I don't really care. I've got everything. So
anyway, before we get into the 12 days of Big Finishmas, which so far super underwhelming, I want to get to something that we brought up in the last podcast, which is exciting and perhaps worrisome at the same time. Again, I see this podcast as kind of like a talk show where we don't have to be all 100% yay. We're not all 100% boo. We can talk about it, discussed with some skepticism and whatnot. And that is the Rutans versus the Sontarans monthly adventures starting off in January 2024. So we have Conrad Westman, or
Westmas,
whatever, who's returning as Kariz. And the last time he appeared in a show, I believe, he was referenced in Night at the Doctor in 2013, but I think his first episode was 2004 with the Creed of the Croman, and then he left
was
in
his last episode.
Absolution, which is absolutely not a good show or series. But we have, the Eighth Doctor, who's going to be in here. We have the Third Doctor, is played by Trim Chalor. We have the Colin Baker, Sixth Doctor, the Jonathan Carley, War Doctor, and of course, Dan Starkey playing various Sontarans. I'm very excited for this, but I want to bounce a couple things off of you that I have some reservations and or concerns about, especially since we just barely got through everyone's favorite
Once in the Future.
Yeah,
I think unlike Once in Future, it's probably just going to showcase various points within the conflict, and as it says right from the off, there's been thousands of battles across across thousands of worlds with millions dying and all that on both sides, and there's kind of unending. So I think what they're going to do is perhaps showcase just some of the bigger moments, which is fine. I mean, has the Sontaran Rutan conflict ended? I mean, probably the Time War kind of put pay to that, and then the 30th Doctor destroying half the bloody universe probably definitely put the end to that. But then the only Sontarans that probably survived were the ones that were fighting the English in the Crimea in the fantastic episode that was the
and we found that what was it called?
I can't remember.
The only thing I could the only thing whenever I think of that episode is chocolate.
Yeah. Anyway.
So you are probably right. This is probably just going to be, selected big battles between the Rutans and the Sontarans. However, here's my concern, because we just barely had a 7 of 8 part Once in Future. The first story is written by Lizzie Hopley, and she had the two, at least in my opinion, the two duds in Once in Future. And she's starting us off, so I'm kind of somewhat concerned. Now, we go to the next story, and I see in the production, we have writer Tim Foley, which is fine because he kind of is doing like secondary script editing. John Dorney is doing some script editing, but also so is Tim Foley. They're taking, I guess, turns script editing.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Third story, and here's where I'm kind of a tad bit concerned. This story is written by writer Tegan Byrne. Now, who is Tegan Byrne, you may ask? Well, he is a first-time writer. And he has been acting in a couple of, or she have Tegan, appeared in the cast of the Doctor Who, the War Doctor Begins as Rowena. So, I'm.
I mean, to be fair, what's her name? She played. I think she played Case, and she also played. Why's my name escaping her? First companion to die in the First Doctor's era. Marlix, that's the plan. Handmaiden.
Yeah.
Karina.
Yeah, her.
I mean, she obviously is. Obviously, acted her and then acted Case, and then she's also gone on to direct and I think write an episode or two. So, I mean, I guess we'll just see. I mean, they've got to have new writers at some point, haven't they? So, I mean, they can't keep using the same people all the time.
My biggest thing is this is why we need the main range. And the main reason why we need the main range is we need the December release that has the 4-part, 25-minute story for new writers to cut their teeth on to, break in. I don't like new writers jumping into a series/box set, especially because of the premium that we are paying for these suckers. So, it's okay. For me personally, it was always okay for one or more of those 4-parters to kind of not be good. Because I never expected anything from those 4-parters. However, to be part of a mini ongoing or 4-part monthly adventure series, one of them being a brand new writer, and then the other one being Lizzie Hopley, who had 2 duds in Once and Future, I'm already kind of worried. But again, I might be wrong, but I just want to bring this up to discussion because I think it is an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. I mean, I think the thing is that the Sontarans versus Rutans is smaller in scale, so obviously there's less things to do, and I think in some respects they have a tighter brief than what they did for Once and Future. Let's be honest. Once and Future was just like, fan service. Okay, how can we get as much fan service as possible and pair up as many random characters as possible? Whereas this has less written about it, but I think more chance to flesh out said lore rather than having a definite established beats it has to hit. Because, I mean, what do you know about the Sontaran Rutan War?
All we know is what was talked about in the Lighthouse story, and then it just gets brought up Die Rutan scum generally.
Okay. So not a lot. So I think there's a chance to really expand the lore and make it interesting. So hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, there is, to expand the lore, but again, I want quality writers to expand the lore, not a Chris Chibnall or a similar talent to expand the lore.
No.
All right. So I guess with that, we will just quickly go on to Big Finish misoffers. So we talked about the Big Finish magazines that were only available and published on the CD from, the the 2000. So that's kind of an interesting thing to do. They gave the Sarah Jane Comeback promo as a free thing to download, which I did. And then we started off with Jago, Lightfoot, and Strax The Haunting, which I did not particularly care for when I listened to it. And then now we have Sherlock Holmes, The Final Problem, The Empty House, which, at least for me personally, back probably about 10, even maybe more years ago when Big Finish was doing this, they would always be offering at a really good deal things that came out the year of, or maybe not the year of, the previous year of, at a good, cannot turn this down deal. And as I look at this, Jago, Lightfoot, and Strax came out, I want to say over 6 years ago, at least minimum. And then we have the Sherlock, The Final Problem, which I'm not even sure how long ago that came out, but I mean...
I've not started any of the Sherlock Holmes stuff from Big Finish, and again, I really want to, but just the one thing that's put me off the entire range is just...
Let me guess. It rhymes with Flick Riggs.
Yeah. Is it me, or does that sound like a Rick and Morty thing? God, yeah. It has all the hallmarks of a fantastic audio series. I just really think they've recast, or they've cast the main role wrong. Personally, I just
and so while you were doing that, I was looking this up. So the Sherlock Holmes, The Final Problem, currently, because it's only available for download, is at least available in the US for $6.33, and this is basically almost a 40% off. So I can pick it up, even though I already have it, for $3.80.
Yeah.
So, and this was released in 2011.
Wow.
So,
God, I feel old.
I know, right?
God, that was even before we started doing the podcast. Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
And then let's see. If I look for the Jago, Lightfoot, and Strax, so this one actually is a good deal currently, because currently this is at full price. This was released in November of 2015. And currently it's going for, in the US, $16.49, and I can pick it up for $3.80. But again, we're in 2023. This was released 8 years ago. Big Finishmas should be celebrating some of the releases of 2023 or 2022 at a good deal. And the past couple of I used to pick up things routinely on the Big Finish sale, and I can't tell you the last time I picked anything up, just because I either A, owned it and bought it for full price, or B, it's the same thing that they're offering every single year. I can guarantee you one of the things that they're going to offer is the first 4 volumes of the short trips. That's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I wish they would vary their catalog a bit each year. Their catalog is big enough now. Come on, guys. You have enough that you can at least spin the wheel, as it were, and just, I don't know, change it up a bit.
I mean, the most interesting thing, and this is not part of Big Finishmas, is they have about a 64% on some of these Big Finish originals off. I mean, currently I'm looking at, the Cicero Crossroads box set for $10.14. The Human Frontier, even though I've not listened to it, at $12.59, basically saving about $12. Atta-Girl 2 and Atta-Girl 1 are both on sale.
Have you got
for
those,
about 12? No, I never picked them up.
You should. They're really good.
I remember listening to the trailer, and that's my biggest problem is whenever I listen to a trailer, I'm just like, underwhelmed.
No, you should. It's really good. Really.
We have the
interesting
8-hour transference for the low price of $15.
I mean, that's a good deal. For 8 hours, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So. I mean, if only it wasn't boring. The Blind Terror, the Gods of Frost, so you could listen to Eve Miles wake up dead inside a snowman, because that actually happened. Shillings and Sixpence Series 1 is available for half off. So is Jeremiah Born in Time. Like, these are better deals than so far what Big Finish is being offered.
Do you know?
At least in my opinion.
I really want a second series of Jeremiah Born in Time.
Yes, so do I.
That would be nice.
Oh, also, something I didn't realize, but maybe you did because you're following the series more closely, but the 11th Doctor Chronicles, Volume 6, Victory of the Doctor, which has the Skittles Daleks on the cover.
Yes.
That's intriguing.
Yes, I posted about it in the in the group when it got posted. I'm really glad they're doing this because it means that the new Paradigm Daleks didn't get wiped out after Victory of the Daleks, because I always thought, okay, bar the sort of, perhaps they were a bit garish in the color schemes maybe for some people. I always thought they had a really interesting concept, with the different naming conventions and the different positions, I guess, in the hierarchy. So I really, really hope that this story goes into more detail about that.
Yeah, it'll be kind of interesting. Like, I have not listened to the Companion Chronicle or the 11th Doctor Chronicles. I wish, Big Finish, listen here. I wish you would offer those at a discounted rate. Just saying, hint, hint. But they won't.
But yeah, no, if you do get the chance to listen to them, definitely listen to them because they are really good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I find this very interesting. They even posted on the news article about the 11th Doctor stuff. They even said people that, and I think this was like even some of the producers and people said that, that couldn't stand the 11th Doctor's run really like these audios, which is interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
And no, but they are really good. Jacob Dobbin does a really good 11th Doctor, and I really like Safia Inga as Valerie. She's a really cool companion. So, yeah, they've all been good releases, actually. It's just a shame that they're ending. So I don't know what's going to go on with the 11th Doctor, so I guess we'll see what happens. But, I mean, if this is all we get for the 11th Doctor for a while, then, well, less is more, right?
Let's see. I think I made a mistake. I think I think it was Lisa McMullen that did the less than
it was Lisa McMullen.
Once and Future. So I apologize, Lizzie Hopley. And the only reason why I was checking was not to see if that was right, but I was curious if the Once and Futures 6 and 7 have gotten any, ratings and reviews. And at least number 6 has a reviews and awards from GVN, which is probably like Gallifrey, whatever. Says that it makes
Gallifrey
great use of
videos.
its cast.
I don't know.
Great use of its cast, setting, and premise. So perhaps that's all an anniversary celebration really needs. 8.5. That's the lone rating and review shout out for Time Lord Immemorial.
Wow.
The Union, as of this date, December 26th, 2023, has nothing. Nobody has given no website or YouTuber or podcaster has given a good review of that story.
Wow.
Just wanna drop that. Oh, it stands for Geek Vibes Nation.
Ah, I preferred Gallifrey Vid News. That was so cool. That was so much cooler.
I know. I mean, man, we should start all over and either that or that should be what our news segment is entitled. Gallifrey and
Yeah.
Gallifreyan Time GTN, the Gallifreyan Times News.
Or no, GMN. Yeah, GMN. Gallifrey Matrix News.
Oh, yes. Oh,
GMN.
I think we have something there. GMN. This just in, the Master, we're just allowing the Master to murder us all. So, if you see him, just allow him to murder you. Just let it happen.
Let it go. Let it go, right?
Oh, that is good. All right. So I believe with that, we will get into the Church on Ruby Road review.
Just before we do,
yeah,
there was some sad news that was put out on Christmas Day that no one was really talking about, which is I think is a bit sad. But unfortunately, Richard Franklin died, which was a bit sad to read right before watching Doctor Who. To be honest, that was a bit of a downer, but hey ho. I mean, what can you do?
And I mean, he starred as Captain Yates, who, he first came in Terror of the Autons, Mind of Evil, Claws of Axis, The Demons, Day of the Daleks, one of the best Dalek stories from Classic Who. Not the best, but one of them. The Time Monster, which is The Green Death, which basically broke him, and we find the shattered pieces of Mike Yates in Invasion of the Dinosaurs, which is, at least one of my more favorite episodes, even as clunky as it is. And then he, had his final appearance in Planet of the Spiders, which, kind of was his redemption. And we really didn't get much of him in Big Finish Big Finish audios, which is also sad. So, and then on Twitter, Katie Manning posted, "Our wonderful, brave Captain Yates, # Richard Franklin, has gone on his awfully big adventure. I'm so grateful I saw him on Friday. Smiling memories and love for him are with me and all of us whose lives he touched and enriched. My thoughts are with him and with his family." So that's
that's nice.
a great thing from Katie Manning.
But yeah, it is kind of sad. I mean, obviously, as the years go on, the more people we lose from the show. So, I mean,
that's why
it's inevitable. But it's still.
That's why I'm so always on board getting those Fantom Films audio commentaries, because the BBC is not in any rush to get thoughts on the people who made the show. As long as they got at least Hostmaster Extraordinaire Toby Hadoke in there, and of course some of the main cast, that is great. But you know what? Richard Franklin, not always a main cast member, and some of the people that were behind the scenes, not always like the predominant Terrence Dicks level of notoriety. But I mean, these people still have stories to share. They still have stories to relate regarding the making of being a part of this 60 plus years now franchise, which is well beloved. So it's really quite sad.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Fantom films, have you managed to get around and complete the collection and pick up the ones that you were umming and ahhing about, or have you not?
I'm gonna have to check that out because maybe. Sorry, totally. That was my fault. I pulled on a plug and unplugged my audio card from my microphone. So, yeah, I need to get into Fantom Publishing because who knows, maybe they have a good Christmas or post-Christmas Boxing Day or whatever sale.
Yeah, because I think you're missing a couple, which you weren't too bothered about.
I am.
But I mean, would be good to complete the collection. So. Oh,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of them that I'm just like, I could live the rest of my life without that one. But let's see.
Yeah, but completionist and all that. Go for it. You want to.
Oh, I am a massive completionist, but let's see. Yeah, they really haven't. Yeah, so I wanted the Reunited 2 box set or commentary. Ooh. Are they all on sale?
Ooh.
They might, like right now they're £9.99, which I believe, and then I have to pay like $9,000 in shipping. So
well poo.
I mean, I know here's the struggle with this is I want the audio, I want the physical form in CD because I just like all science fiction nerds, I just want it on my shelf. I want to point to it and say, there it is right there. Yeah, because so I'm looking at the Doctor Who, the Reunited, which is stories from Unit, Volume 2. I have the first one. I believe the first one I have is also signed by, I want to say Terrence Dicks. Possibly, or Katie Manning, one of the two. But this one features episode 8, Invasion, the 5th episode of The Demons, the Day of the Daleks. Episode 1, Seeds of Doom, episode 6, and then Battlefield, episode 1. And so the Invasion features John Levine, The Demons features Stephen Thorne, who is no longer with us. Day of the Daleks has Katie Manning and Richard Franklin. And then the Seeds of Doom, episode 6, has Philip Hinchcliffe and George Galacio. And then, I don't know who that is. But again, just because I don't know who it is doesn't mean it's not worth picking up.
Is that the only one that you're missing, or are you missing others?
Oh, no, I'm missing a couple of them. I'm missing, let's see, because there's a couple of them that I'm just like, there's one entitled, oh, crap. I scrubbed too far on this page. One of them that I'm missing is called Santa Ha, which is, I believe, focusing on, let's see, the main, oh, come on, load. Ooh, limited, just 1 second. Limited edition hardback revised biography of Kit Pedler. I might have to pick that sucker up.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, they have Santa Ha, which I believe features, so it features The Time Warrior, The Invasion of Time, and A Good Man Goes to War. But it only does episode 1 and 4 of The Time Warrior. It only does episode 1 of The Invasion of Time, and then it does the entirety of A Good Man Goes to War. So, I mean, I'm not perturbed at all.
Yeah, but then, I mean, with the Unit Revisited, it only does, like, certain episodes of certain stories as well. So, like, I mean, don't really see the difference there. But, I mean, I'd just be more interested because it depends on who's obviously they've got doing the recording, so that at least anecdotally, they could have some good stories or things to talk about. So
no, I'm gonna have to look it up because maybe it might be worth my time or whatnot, or worth the money to pick up, because some of these, I mean, the hard part about it is I would like to pick up the special edition, but the special edition generally is tied to something that I already own. So
what's the difference then?
Well, so the special edition, so for example, for Reunited Volume 2, they're all the stories that I listed off, but the special edition, you also have to buy Attack of the Cybermen, which I own. But the special edition DVD or CD comes with an autograph by one of the people that were in there, and then it comes with a bonus disc. Ooh. So the bonus disc for the Reunited is episode 4 of The Web of Fear with Fraser Hines, and then they do Invasion of the Dinosaurs with John Levine, episode 5.
Sweet.
So I mean, that's interesting right there. But I don't like. I already wanted Attack of the Cybermen, and I picked it up. I believe I picked most of mine up through eBay.
You can always sell it
because it's cheaper on the wallet doing it through eBay. But I just try to hold out for the special editions.
Yeah, no, you should. No, just I'd say just pick them up. Get the special editions where you can. Finish the collection, and then if you've got stuff duplicated, then just sell it on, or
I know. You know what I need to do? Oh yeah, I also don't have Peloton, but I'm not sad about that one. The only one. Yeah, I mean, for me being a comic book nerd and a completionist, there are certain things that my nerdness will allow me to be okay with not having the whole set, and having the Peloton and also the Mars Attacks, which is basically focused on the Empress of Mars. Like I'm fine not owning that. I can justify most of my nerdiness, but when I'm like, would it really leave me up at night not owning these? Probably not.
Yes.
So
yes. Wrong answer.
I mean, the only thing the last two that I bought are Warriors of the Deep and the Attack of the Cybermen, and so far I've not been able to rip them and put them on my iTunes because my DVD player on my MacBook, my 2010 MacBook, the 2010 MacBook just decided to just die about a year ago, and I've not been able to. Yeah, so.
Well, that ain't cool.
Yeah. So anyway, the struggles of being a nerd, right?
I know, right?
They are true. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's go into the church on Ruby Road.
Mm-hmm.
And before I begin, I want to just tell you, I'm very apprehensive of the RTD Part 2. And it has to do with his commentary on, like we said in the last podcast when we reviewed the Giggle. I was fine with the regeneration thing.
Regeneration. Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people were irked by it, but I was like, it's fine. The toy maker was in the vicinity. His magic, even though when you really think about it, were they in his realm? No, they weren't. So how does he really have powers outside of his realm? Whatever, I'm fine with it. It's a science fiction show. It can happen. Mm-hmm. And them being able to not, because he wanted to keep on killing the Doctor, kill one, making another one. Totally fine with that. what I'm not totally fine with is, according to the RTD commentary, this has happened through all regenerations. This happened with... That's what he said. That's what he said on the commentary.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is it's happened now. It hasn't happened previously. But
no, because if you listen to it, he made a comment about Sylvester McCoy's doctor being in a slab and regenerating into the Paul McGann doctor. However, the Sylvester McCoy doctor is still on a slab. He made that comment. So that's what irks me. And I'm not sure I'm in for it. And that is like really, like, I wasn't even sure I was going to watch this because it just has irked me that much. And also, to some extent, I still don't like being the timeless child not gone away with. I feel as though this could have, and that line that he used, the toy maker used, I have been like wreaking havoc in your history. I like that. That could explain the my mother was half human thing. It could also do the timeless child thing. However, let's just drop the timeless child whatsoever and just move on with things. We don't need to keep on bringing it up. And it got brought up here that I'm an orphan too. And it's like, oh, come on. Could we just let the timeless child die already? Or could we, if this leads us up to, and I don't think it will, could we get led up to the timeless child was actually the master?
The remark about the whole history thing, that's actually meant to explain the whole classic Doctor's bi-regeneration thing. That's what he's done. He's basically screwed around with the Doctor's history so much that he's caused those ripples to happen. So basically, it wasn't the Doctor that did it; it was the toy maker. So the toy maker has caused the other Doctors to quote unquote bi-regenerate. Hence, that's why we have the Tales of the TARDIS, older Doctors with older companions thing. Turning up in the TARDIS. So I don't think
I'm up for that.
I get it. I still don't know how I feel about it. I mean, surprisingly, I'm more okay with the timeless child and the bi-regeneration thing since Russell has picked it up, purely because he's done more, I think, in a couple of lines to explain things than Chibnall ever did in his entire tenure as showrunner. Yeah. So, well, I'm like, okay, you bring up we haven't seen season 1 yet of Ncuti's era. He might drop some more hints here and there. We might see more stuff about that. So I guess we'll wait and see. Because he's clearly not going to drop it. So, but I can see why they did the whole classic Doctor's bi-regeneration thing. I'm not overly keen on the idea, but it means that the classic Doctors can come back in the new series, as they're still around, and go, oh well, this is a bi-regenerated version.
Well, I mean,
which
that means that they would have had to come out of the TARDIS and then banged it and got their own TARDIS too. I just don't like it. I don't think it's a smart idea.
Here's the question then. Does that make the second Doctor in the Two Doctors season 6B post War Games Doctor, or does that make him a bi-regeneration now?
See, and I am all for season 6B. I'm all for what Big Finish is doing with the second Doctor and the adventures that he's going on. Now, this thing that RTD has done has cheapened everything, and that's what the Timeless Child has done. It has cheapened the Doctor. Like, I'm no longer worried about their life. They will continue to live and go on unless there's like some sort of death particle, I guess. But I mean, it just...
To be fair, right, there's no reason why that can't be undone because, let's face it, RTD is going for a more Neil Gaiman-esque approach with the kind of bringing magic into Doctor Who, bringing more mythology into Doctor Who, you know, more overtly, perhaps more so than in the past. Not saying that it's not been done, you know, it's not been done, you know, fully, because I suppose it has to a degree. If you look at Fenric and the Elder Gods and I can't think of anything else that comes to mind at the minute, but the whole kind of more fantasy magic aspect, superstition element to Doctor Who, I'm actually quite looking forward to. So I'll be interested to see where it goes. And there's nothing to say that, you know, the Timeless Child thing could get undone by magic, because the Doctor goes, well, I don't know how that got undone. You know, like, I can't explain it. It shouldn't be able to happen, but clearly, you know, so.
But again,
it could still happen.
The Timeless Child thing, though, just takes a dump on the show because to go along with what you said, because what on Twitter, because the only time I pull it up is on the show, I actually did go out of my way to get blocked by somebody because somebody was posting basically saying anybody that hates the Timeless Child, I'm just going on a blockathon. And so I just typed, I hate the Timeless Child. And you know what? Within seconds, blocked by that person. I thought that was funny. But
Brett, you should have done your usual thing and done the laughing emoji. It would have worked again.
I can't on Twitter. I wish I could do the laugh a face emoji. I mean, I've been doing it a lot on Facebook though. So and so far the Doctor Who group has not kicked me off yet. So still working on that sucker though.
Okay.
But anyway, to kind of get your back, one of the things on Twitter was, because Twitter has now learned all the stuff I search, even though I have posted that I am looking at Twitter in Japan, it knows that I do Doctor Who stuff. So it doesn't give me Japanese things. It just gives me Doctor Who stuff. So I like that it knows what this Twitter handle, the Alhambra Podcast on Twitter, or X, if you want to call it that, looks at. But when I was clicking
change your IP VPN, I guess, to a Japanese VPN.
Yeah, whatever. That would take effort. Anyway, to get your back regarding the Timeless Child, this is what was going on after, about 18 hours ago when this aired in the UK. And people were talking about this because it was trending, and it says, I don't like the Timeless Child stuff, but what makes it worse was a lack of commitment to the bit. RTD looks like he is going to commit to it. And then somebody else said, now this is way different. I'm glad RTD is trying to make the most of it because Chris Chibnall really messed things up, in my opinion. And there's a lot of people who are very, very excited regarding the Timeless Child possibly to be cleaned up by RTD. Like you and I know Robert from our exchanges, and I'm going to go out on a limb and probably say Legion too. You guys have a very blind trust in RTD. Like he can do no wrong. And I am in the extreme skeptical band camp. Like I don't think was series 1 through 4 good? Yeah. Were they perfect? No. Do I hold my hat that because series 1 through 4 were probably one of the best Doctor Who series of New Who, that going forward, season 1 through 4 for the next RTD Part 2 that these are still going to be good just because of the first run round. No, I don't have that faith. I don't have that blind allegiance. I question and I am very skeptical. But props to you guys for having unwavering faith in RTD.
Oh, I'm not saying he's perfect because he's not. There's still criticisms that I can still say about his episodes so far, which I will bring up when we get onto the review. But I think the reason I'm enjoying this era so far is we've had so much crap for the past 5 years. I don't know, 3-year pan, 5-year pan. It's like the bloody unit timeline. What are we in, 70s or 80s? Anyway, time has passed, apparently. I think because we've had so much just meh episodes and subpar stuff and storylines and just very little characterization and just the depths of seeing how far a show can fall and still go on. It's nice to see Doctor Who return to some sort of form. So I think that's why we are kind of perhaps a bit more forgiving, because I think, well, I don't know about you, but I was so close just to sort of like giving up on Doctor Who, and I really didn't want to do that because I think if I gave up on Doctor Who, I don't know. Doctor Who's just sort of part of my life and has been since, I was about 10. So, just kind of one of those things that it's like saying, chop off your left arm and deal with it. So I think that's why. So, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into this because I have thoughts, I have feelings. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say there was nothing big about this, but it was a Christmas episode, which generally, there's less than a handful of Christmas episodes that are actually great. And I think that this is one of them that is just a Christmas episode. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we open up with in London, December 1st, 2023, as Ruby is being interviewed by one of these reality shows that are going to, possibly change her life forever. I only have 2 clips, and I'm going to click this right here.
The reason why we make this show is to see if we can help you. In the old days, foundlings were left without a trace, but now we really can work magic with DNA. So we've taken your sample and we're going to use it to help track your genetic heritage. And we're hoping to be able to trace your birth mother or birth father or someone in your family. But Ruby, we can't work miracles. And even if we do make contact, they might not want to be found. And we have to respect that. Can I ask you something? Yeah. If we did find someone, what are you hoping for?
Just the truth.
Oh my God, are you okay?
I'm fine. It missed. I'm okay. It missed. I'm fine.
That was lucky.
All right. So that introduced us to Ruby Rose, and then we find, I can't remember if it was before or after that I believe it was before, that we saw her being placed on the church on Ruby Road.
No, it's after.
And then this is after? Okay.
Yeah.
And so we have that whole setup. Yeah.
The show that's actually from, Davina McCall is obviously a, actor / reality TV kind of star over here. She hosted Big Brother amongst other things, and she hosts. This is kind of what it's parodying. They can't say the name for copyright reasons, but it's actually a show over here called Long Lost Families, and they do what this is on the tin. They go out and they track down people's family members, and they've started to do shows on foundlings. So this is basically parodying that. So it's okay. It's a thing.
So, so we go from that. We have this whole setup of these mischievous, and I'm going to just say gremlins right now before we get into the whole thing. But then we fast forward to December 22nd, 23rd, when the doctor's kind of stalking Ruby, once at a performance, and then another while he's at a dance club, where he approaches Ruby, saving her glass from falling to the floor, and insinuating that she isn't actually clumsy, or as clumsy as she thinks she is. And then we witness some more gremlins trying to crush Ruby and her friends, or some mayhem with this large, oversized snowman's head outside the shop's front. The doctor sonics it, preventing them from being crushed at that time because now he's changed the lights. They speed away. However, this oversized thing that could possibly have crushed and damaged this taxi lands on the doctor, and he's perfectly fine. So suspension of disbelief or something like that. Wasn't a huge fan of that moment, but again, it's a Christmas episode, so whatever. We get introduced to Ruby's foster mom, coincidentally is fostering a baby who was delivered to her. This baby and Ruby share the same birthday, and coincidentally, the TV reporter calls Ruby regarding how the DNA has absolutely no historical matches at all, which, as somebody who has gotten their DNA done, very, very, very impossible. So, oh boy, we've got another impossible girl. Not a fan of that. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, she said that. I mean, I'm sure there's obviously DNA they can trace, but I think what she was saying more was that they couldn't find any close or relatable family.
Yeah,
more
no
so
brothers,
than DNA.
sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, second cousins, whatever. Like, as somebody who's gotten their DNA done, it has come up with, like, at least, besides my immediate family, it has second cousins who I've never heard of. It's come up with third cousins, obviously, fourth cousins. Like, at least this reporter or this influencer or whatever from your reality show, like, has basically said there is no trace, which basically to me means we've got another impossible girl.
I don't know, because I've not seen the show, so I don't know how accurate that would be when they do other foundlings and stuff. If that has actually happened before, if there's been literally no trace of anyone to come up, it might do, it might not. I can't comment because I haven't seen the show. So could be as you say, suspension of disbelief, or could be an actual thing. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
If anyone's got any views on that or seen the show, then feel free to write in and let us know, because I don't know. So
yeah,
can't cast judgment on that one.
I'm highly skeptical. But again, Christmas show, whatever. We are about to have that lady basically get impaled by a Christmas star. I love that she actually does, and then the doctor goes back in time at the very end of the episode to like undo the goblin
death
murder.
Yeah.
Just like whatever. Ruby Ruby gets tasked by watching this baby, which is quickly abducted by the goblins. She chooses to grab onto the goblin's ladder in order to follow him. The doctor is following her along, going from rooftop to rooftop, and then we get our first Mavity reference, which
so that's still kind of a thing. I was going to say that's still
thing.
The universe is still screwed up then. So currently, Anyway,
and so they get up there with wearing these Mission Impossible from Ghost Protocol gloves, which is like the best Mission Impossible movie.
Do you know what I like? I like the fact again, and I really like this. The fact that the Doctor's actually making stuff now again. He's making other gadgets apart, and he isn't relying on the Sonic. If that was, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th Doctor, it would have been, we can get up there because I've oscillated your body to be a lot lighter with a Sonic, and you can climb a lot faster. Or I've made like sonic pulses to sort of like push you up from, the ground up, or some bullshit. Do you know what I mean? So I like the fact that he's actually got gadgets again.
I also like that the gloves actually have a battery life.
Yeah.
Like, it's not indestructible. It's not, it can do this forever. So I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Doctor and Ruby get captured by the goblins, and then I have this situation right here.
Just a coincidence.
Learn the language. That's why they went after Lulubelle. Coincidence is what makes the baby tasty. That's how these goblins work. Chance and coincidence and luck. That's how I spotted you. You've been having lots of bad luck, yes?
Yes, that started way back. I mean, Lulu arrived today. I started having accidents weeks ago.
That was paving the way. These goblins are time riders. They can surf the waves of time. We spotted the chance of coincidence, and they went back and they wove you in.
Wait, so they caused my accidents? Were they trying to kill me?
No, it's more like, if you walk through a day without any bad luck, that's fine. That day's nothing. But if you have lots of accidents, it stitches you in, it weaves you into the day. You become all complicated and knotted and vivid. All of it leading up to a baby on Christmas Eve. The same birthday as yours with a bedroom that is high up in the sky. All the more convenient for a goblin ship. Oh, it's like a tapestry. It's gorgeous.
How do you know all of this?
I don't. It's a brand new science for me, and I love it. The language of luck. Because what is a coincidence but a form of accident? Two things bumping together unexpectedly. Like you and me.
No, but who are you? Why are you an expert in time-traveling goblins?
They are not time travelers. Excuse me. Time travelers are great. Like the best. Like, wow. This lot just bimble.
So if they're bimbling, why did they pick on Davina McCall?
Oh, that was just funny.
All right. So what are your thoughts on that clip? I think that was pretty good. I like the discussion while they're being tied up, and we do get another reference to Houdini.
Yeah. No, I like the fact that he's clearly not got all the answers, but he's clearly kind of figuring out stuff, So he's figured out that that they kind of speak through like rope and knots and the kind of their language is like coincidences and superstition and luck and that kind of thing, which I think is interesting. And I kind of like the sort of self-confident, slightly arrogant, slightly blasé approach of his Doctor. He's just fun. I think that's what I'm getting from so far anyway, from what we've seen of Ncuti. I think he's just going to be just kind of a fun Doctor, which we haven't had for a long time. So it's nice to have. Well,
I'm glad because at least to me, his body acting, at least currently, is not good in my opinion. He doesn't seem doctory at all, and his voice acting to me is hit and miss. So I'm not really 100% sold. And maybe it's just because we just barely got through with the David Tennant specials, where David Tennant is clearly like the best iteration of the new series Doctors that we've gotten. And like comparing, apples and oranges, you should not do, because they're two different things. But we just barely got done with fantastic David Tennant. And now I feel very underwhelmed with Ncuti's portrayal. At least that is what I see. But that is just a me thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
So after that, one thing that I really didn't particularly care for also, and this kind of goes to the very end, even though we're not at the very end, like the doctor specifically says in that clip that these are not time-traveling goblins. However, they time travel and pick up Ruby and alter the present.
I think what he's meaning, again, and this is what I mean by the kind of slightly arrogance. The arrogance is that they're not probably true time travelers. They can probably latch onto somebody and go back to a certain point or go so far, but they don't have actual. Like the Daleks initially, they had limited time travel. So I think that's what he means, that they've got limited time travel, but they're amateurish, that they're compared to Time Lords. I think that's what he was saying. So, yeah, basically.
Okay. So the doctor figures out the goblin's rope language. He finds the goblin ship's ventilation shaft, because I guess that's a thing too, because of course all ships have ventilation shafts, even if they are a flying boat ship contraption. Anyway, suspension of disbelief or whatever, Christmas episode, whatever. The goblins start breaking into song to eat the baby, which I scrubbed ahead because I'm not listening to that crap. But whatever. And then, I find the singing had stopped. The doctor just basically is like, "Oh, why'd you stop singing?" And then he gets ready to burst into song. So I scrub ahead once again, passing over my least favorite part of any show ever. And that would be the musical numbers. So what,
like
as you are...
It's not even a full song. It's just like a 5-second clip.
I don't care. I scrubbed ahead, not listening to it. So because you are a musical enthusiast, Liam, what were your thoughts on the Goblin song and the Doctor song?
It wasn't a musical. It was literally just a band, one singer, and literally the Doctor and Ruby sing like a sentence each, and that's it. So it's not even a full 2-minute bloody song. So to call it a musical episode, nah, which I appreciated anyway. I mean,
well,
and
all I
here's
can
the
say
thing.
is
Colin Baker. Colin Baker sings more in Doctor Who and the Pirates than.
That's a fun episode because it's just fun.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. And this is my point. Colin Baker sings way more than Ncuti and Ruby combined, easily.
Okay,
combined.
Here's why I find the Colin Baker in the Doctor Who and the Pirates more fun is because they altered this song and made "I Am a Very Gallifreyan" whatever. That was fun. Again, I've watched The Flash. The Flash has musical episodes because Grant Gustin was on that stupid musicals series on Fox. Riverdale always has their musical episode in every single season. I scrub through that, wait for the singing to stop, pick up any plot points, and then move forward. And I will tell you, in my opinion, the Colin Baker musical thing is actually fun, where to me, this is just obnoxious and making way for full-on musical episode in the next season. and full-on musical episode. This is going to be a thing from now on. So I just want you to know that you loving it is going to give RTD.
I love it. I'm just saying it's not as obnoxious as you think it is, because you've not even listened to it for one. And secondly, it's not. It is literally just a band, one singer for the Goblins, and as I say, literally, Shooty has like 1 or 2 lines at most, and Ruby has like 1 or 2 lines at most, and that's it. It's not even a full song. So
it's more than I would have ever wanted. So,
but yeah, you listen to the entire song.
I feel justified because I didn't
really
listen to it, and I was not lost one bit whatsoever. Similarly to Riverdale, similarly to The Flash, whenever I scrubbed through it and I watched the next episode, I was not lost because I missed out on a stupid musical number. So I have no issue. Or, you can mock or tease me all you'd like. It will just bounce off of me like bullets off of Superman. I have no regret for skipping and scrubbing through that.
Yeah.
All right. So just out of curiosity, out of 10, what would you rate the musical numbers in this?
I mean, they were songs.
Okay, so a 10. All right.
It was a song, so.
All right. So after saving baby Lulu, a bunch of coincidences start piling up as cracks start forming into the ceiling, which I was kind of in for because I thought that was fun, hoping that there could be some sort of season or series 5, 11th Doctor, 11th Hour crack situation similarity. But it's not. It's the goblins went back in time and abducted baby Ruby instead of baby Lulu. And so the doctor took his kinetic energy gloves, went and saved Ruby, delivered Ruby back to the church, which was fine. But it was just so simple. But again, in any complaint, it is a Christmas episode, so whatever. After he saves that, the doctor travels back to the future, materializes in front of Ruby's neighbor, who previously was complaining about the police box right next door to her flat. And she smiles as she knits and she waves to the doctor. He breaks into Ruby's mom's flat using his sonic screwdriver, only to see him dash off and then take off in the TARDIS once again. So then there's a whole bunch of like, what's going on with this thing? And then we get teased that she looks at the camera and says, basically, what's the matter? Haven't you ever seen a TARDIS? And then that kind of like leads into the up-and-coming series 1 of the RTD Part 2. I might have skipped something that you want to talk about. So what are your thoughts on either that or anything I missed?
I don't think I missed anything. I think I would have liked to have seen a bit more from the goblins, personally. Like, the Goblin King was just kind of a Rory kind of villain, wasn't he? Well, he didn't even speak. So I think that would have been kind of nice if the Doctor had interacted with them, but maybe thinking about it, if their language was like knots and sort of
square knot, loop knot, round knot, then he would sound like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. I don't really think, thinking about it now, actually, he probably could have, that they could have communicated aptly, to the audience. So I guess that's all they can do is roar. So yeah, but yeah. Well, I guess that's one language that the TARDIS can't translate, I suppose. Thoughts? Yeah, again, definitely a kind of introduction, setup episode, setting things up to come kind of thing. It wasn't bad. I'd say average episode, but not bad. What are your thoughts on the Sonic now that you've seen it a bit more out of interest?
I think it's stupid. I think it looks like a next generation phaser without a laser coming out of it. It looks nothing like a screwdriver. To even call it a screwdriver is like an abomination. It should be like his Palm Pilot or something. It does
Sonic Scanner or something. I don't know.
Exactly. It cannot be a screwdriver because it no longer has the cylinder-ish kind of screwdriver-ish look to it.
I don't know. I mean, definitely different, I suppose, but I think that's just going to be one of those things that people are either going to love or hate, I suppose. But what I did like was that it wasn't overused.
That is true.
So,
the 15th Doctor did not overly use a screwdriver. In fact, what was it? There's no wood settings, and now there's no knot settings on the sonic screwdriver. I'm just glad that we don't have like any like sonic shield crap that they did because that is such a low point in the Star Beast. Ooh.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, I was looking at the time scales, and because I know where I was going to be rating this, and this person who rated it similar to what I did gave pros and cons for this, and I'd love you to hear about it and give your thoughts about it. So it says pros: first half that juggled excellent characterization, brilliant performance out of the main duo. Ruby Sunday feels like a companion I'm going to love. The most immediately likable family we've seen yet. Intriguing setup for the series arc. The Goblin song is admittedly, okay, this is where I'm going to disagree with this, is a great scene despite the fact that RTD can't write lyrics. And then everything outside that the actual storyline, characterization, world building, was really good peak RTD. The cons, this person says, is the second half of the story is complete nonsense. People don't act like actual humans, completely shrugging off life-changing events with a smile and a witty comeback. RTD completely forgot that Doctor Who was meant to be 3,000 years old alien instead of just a quirky guy. Complete leaps in logic, even for Doctor Who. Let's see, I can't describe how much I hate the scene when Ruby and the Doctor just come up with musical numbers on the spot and then don't address the fact that it's impossible. And then the dialogue is on the nose of unrealistic. Ruby being written out of existence for all of 2 scenes was unneeded and felt like padding. The goblins, the main villains, were barely focused on the episode and show up for basically a couple of scenes. And then this person concludes with, they addressed the timeless child, and it made me feel sad. What are your thoughts about those pros and cons?
I mean, I'd agree with it, with his points, or their points. But for all of that, like I said, it was just a fun episode. It wasn't like fantastic, but it wasn't terrible either. I mean, and again, it's nonsense because again, with the Doctor sort of learning with or coming across the whole goblin thing. Don't forget, he's never really had a mind for magic. It's always more. He's always been more analytical, more logical, more scientific. So the fact that he's trying to put and understand more esoteric terms into scientific terms, I think that's why he's not fully joining all the dots. And yeah, again, I mean, the Ruby thing vanishing and stuff and being replaced, again, you could argue was padding. You could argue that it was showing you what the goblins were going to do, and there's obviously more to that than meets the eye. Plus, if you notice, you said everything gets wrapped up. The crack that is caused by the coincidences does not get sorted out at the end. It's still there.
Well, it does when she gets wiped out from existence. When, the doctor saves her, it does not. So you're right. It does and it doesn't. So, yeah.
No, because she says because she's back, and there's a bit where they're like, Carla was like, it's Christmas Eve. Who's going to come out on Christmas Eve to fix it? And all that. So as far as I was aware,
I said the crack gets wiped out of existence when Ruby gets wiped out of existence, and she comes back, and the crack is still there. I didn't say the crack is gone. I never said that.
Oh, okay. So I think there's going to be more. I think there's going to be more to that. I think going forward. So I think you, in a way, you have your wish of a secondary crack storyline.
Yeah. Very true.
So
just out of curiosities, as I guess we're getting ready to wrap up, yeah, I the reason why I chose this person is I like that this person on a lot of their reviews does pros and cons, because again, not everything is perfect, not everything is horrible, and I hate, casting or saying, and in some instances, and there's some instances, Chris Chibnall proved that right more than wrong. In some instances, there can be more poorly written stuff and poor whatever than good. But I do appreciate when people do pros and cons, because it's not all good and it's not all bad. So I do like that this person pointed out that the first half was really good. The second half just got wrapped up too quickly, too neatly. And I did like that he pointed out that the people were not actually acting like people in life-changing moments. Not counting Ruby's, mom and grandmother. Like, they were definitely feeling feelings. I don't think, and again, this is my opinion, I do not like the address of the Timeless Child. I wish it just would be written out and fixed completely. I feel as though that is going to be something that constantly is dragging the show down, and also probably like making people like, because I think there's a hard line. I think there's those that like it. I think that those are some that are indifferent. And I think that there's those that don't like it whatsoever. And I think the crowd that doesn't like it whatsoever is larger in size than the crowd that likes it. I think the crowd that likes it are louder in volume on social media.
Of course.
And you could also say that the crowd that doesn't like it is louder in social media. But the interesting thing is, and we brought this up before, both sides are dismissive of each other. Nobody is really willing to listen to each other's reason. It is, well, you hate it because you hate the female doctor, so you're a bigot. And the other one is, I hate it because it's ruining the canon. And like, nobody is willing to listen to each other. No. But I do think that, yeah.
I mean, and this is the thing, like, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it because I think it just, as you say, it cheapens the Doctor's character. There's no stakes in regards, their life. It screws with the, the lore. Like honestly, I'm happier with the bioregeneration. And I'm happier with the potential possibility of bioregenerated classic Doctors more than I still am the Timeless Child. But I am, for all of my dislike of the Timeless Child, I'm willing to give RTD a chance to explain it, clean it up, tidy it up, maybe. Which, he could still fail at. So I'm not saying that he's going to. But, like I said to you before, the stuff that has been dropped and he's spoken about so far has been more satisfactory in 2 or 3 lines than was ever published in or put across in the Chibnall era.
Yeah. No, and that is one thing that is true. Like, Chibnall created something, was patting him on the back for creating it, but he had no idea what to do with it. And I think that was also an unnecessary change.
Mm-hmm.
And he was unable to deliver anything as well too. So
yeah. See, because again, you could have had the bi-regeneration thing still, and without the timeless child, and it still would have worked. So,
all right. So, what would you rate the Church on Ruby Road?
7.
7? All right. Not much higher than me. I'd give it a 6. Like it's a Christmas episode. It's obviously light because of the season. It's a lot. I will also give it this. It is a lot better than any of the Chibnall New Year's episodes. Like those are just hot garbage.
Yeah. I mean, there's actual character. People, we saw Ruby's family for all of 5 minutes, and in those 5 minutes, they're more rounded than what's his face, serial killer, stalker person, and unlikable Irish person.
The guy that
we spent with an hour
takes
with
all of his ex-girlfriend's stuff to a storage lot.
I know where you live.
Oh
God.
I can't believe when Chibnall wrote that, somebody didn't say, do you feel as though that's like serial killer-ish in a way? Do you think? They just let him do it. It's fine. It's not a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we will conclude this episode, and then after, then we are recording this in 2023 in the new year. Shortly after, we will have a complete long version. I did the short version because of the short clips of the best of, but I will have a longer version of the best of moments from 2023. Then we are going to do a massive November Big Finish review, and let Legion get caught up on with his opinions, because I bet you he has some of those as well too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.